Hi, my name's Emma White and I'm the Director of Real Consultancy.
Hi, I'm Esther Partridge-Warner and I'm the head coach at Real World Consultancy.
So we have been running the Enterprise in Worcestershire Business Coaching Programme, and we've been running it throughout 2021 and 2022.
That's it.
So we're going to go through some top tips for growing in the early days. And the lovely thing is we see this all the time with our clients, but also we've both been there, got the t-shirt, felt the pain. So we completely understand where you are if you're still in your early days, and we've been there and felt it. So we wanted to help shortcut some of that and make it a bit easier. So the first piece of advice from me is if you think about, well, if I think about certainly my business, so Real Consultancy is almost 5, and the products and services we started with are nowhere near the products and services that they are now. I started with a service that I thought was amazing, put it out there and couldn't understand why it flopped.
Oh no.
But it would have been very easy to get disheartened at that point, and lots of people do get disheartened at that point. But it's about finding out who is your customer, who are you working with, what pain do you fix for them, what gap do you fill in the market, looking at your mission, looking at your value. So what do you do, how do you do it, what makes you stand out, and also what's your personal end game? Are you in it to build a Google? Are you in it as a side hustle? So having those things clear, everything else can sort of flex and pivot around it, and should do, because if you don't keep up, then someone else will be offering a newer and better service to those people anyway. But having your core really strong is really fundamental, and everything else can flex around it. But if you really know who your customer is, what your mission is, what your values are, what your personal end game is, you can then work through different iterations of those products and services to find the right fit without getting quite so disheartened as I may have done in the early days.
One of the things that I would say as a top tip would be, which is kind of linked to what Emma was saying, is about limiting the number of people that you ask for help and support and advice. So doing good market research with somebody who is your ideal customer is a really great thing to do, and would help to prevent you from launching a product which then flops.
Because are you saying I didn't do market research?
No, I'm not saying that's
you would be right. I did not do enough market research.
But the problem is that sometimes we ask too many people, and we get too many different opinions, and we end up having complete paralysis, and we can't move forward in our particular our business or our service or our product or whatever it is that we're offering. So do seek advice from experts that you trust. Do seek your feedback from your ideal customer, and then ask your family and friends for help and support rather than for help and advice.
Absolutely. I think one of the biggest things is you can even ask 5 absolutely amazing professionals the same question and they'll come up with different answers. So it is finding the voice that you trust in each of those areas, taking all that advice on, but then backing yourself with the decision that you think is right and going for that.
Absolutely.
About so you can get completely stuck, can't you? If you've got too many opinions coming in.
Yeah, choice anxiety kicks in then. What would your next top tip be?
So for me, I've got a massive thing around failure. I hate the word failure. I absolutely hate the word failure. And I think that if I could banish it, I would. So when I first started the business, and when many people start the business, it's not very long before something doesn't work. Mm-hmm. If you've gone a few days without something not working, you've probably done quite well.
Yeah.
So seeing all of those things that historically you might put down to being a failure as simply iterations of success, it's just something that you tried and you tweaked and you learned from in order to go to the next step, and chunking it down is massive, and it completely changes your mindset away from being I tried that, it didn't work, into great, I tried that, this bit worked, that bit didn't.
Yeah.
So therefore I'm going to tweak, I'm going to change. It comes back to that ability to pivot, that ability to learn, that ability to see something as a positive rather than negative. It's all around staying positive, otherwise your resilience is going to go out the window. Yeah. So I would banish the word failure. We should banish it so that any time someone messages us, it just doesn't show up, just a blank word. And I would reframe it as a iteration of success. So learning from the things that we historically may have seen as failures, learning from those and taking them as something that actually helps us to get further forward to where we want to be.
No, that's good. And I think linked with that, one of the things that I would banish would be the fact that people always beat themselves up about things they haven't done, and I haven't done this, and I should have done that, and I haven't done the other thing. Whereas in fact, what we should all be doing, linked to your positivity, is celebrating success, because all those little things that move us forward to change things in our business, and how we can really move forward with celebrating success rather than beating ourselves up. I think it's very important.
And I think you might tell me whether you agree or not, but I think from what we've probably both seen is that actually a lot of those successes have come from historically what you would term a failure. They've not come without the blood, sweat and tears. They've come from a place where things might not have gone perfectly in order to become that success.
Yeah.
So I think it is exactly like you said, chunking it down, breaking everything down and celebrating those successes, but equally then reframing the not going to call them failures, the iterations of success, the things that didn't work out as things that then help to get you to that next success point. I almost think, like Mario Kart, when you've got those different levels, you don't just jump to that straight end level, and by the time you get to that end level, they've created another game anyway. It's like, that is a business. You just have to keep chipping away, get some coins when you can, and jump onto the next little level.
And talking of coins, one of my top tips would be to get a handle on your finances. So chatting with lots of business owners, it's the numbers that they find really scary. They think they maybe have to have some mega cash flow forecast or profit and loss plan or whatever it is. But again, start small, measure the numbers that work for you in your particular business, and understand what makes your business tick and how you can do more of what works and less of what doesn't. But don't be scared by the numbers.
100%. I think it's very easy. If you Google finance templates for businesses, you could download these massive spreadsheets that if you're running a massive business or a product-based business or wholesale, fantastic. But actually, profit and loss and cash flow can be quite simple for a small business. And I think if you try and start too complicated, it's better to start simple and be able to actually do it than to start really complicated and put it on the too hard and too scary pile.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes it's about looking, like you said, look at what information is available, what's meaningful for you to make a decision. So what do you need in order to know that business is okay, business is not okay, that decision is going to take me here, that decision is going to take me there, and start with that and build on it. Because I think, again, like the too many opinions, too many resources can overwhelm you as well and sort of stop you from moving forward.
And absolutely. And I think that if you find an expert that you can trust to help you with your finances, so that if there's something that you don't understand, again, no such thing as a silly question, that's going in the whole kind of banish bin as well. But so that, you've got someone that you can ask and say, what does this mean for my business? And really get personalised help and advice that will help you to get the information and the knowledge that you need to be able to make those kind of choices as your business grows.
Absolutely. So I think we should come up with a business banish box.
Sounds like an excellent plan.
And put everything in there that we want to banish.
Okay.
So over to you. What 3 things would you put straight in the banish box to be good?
In the straight in the banish box, I would put in gathering too many opinions from lots of different people, having opinion overload and being paralysed and not being able to make a decision to move forward in your business. I would banish beating yourself up about things that you haven't done, and we should be celebrating success instead, however small those successes are. And I would banish the fear of numbers and finance in your business.
Good 3. So I would banish the word failure.
Yes.
Just as in its entirety. Good. It would just come out of the dictionary.
Excellent.
A fixed mindset. So I would banish a fixed mindset because I think having a growth mindset is, although it is a very buzzwordy the last couple of years, the context of having a growth mindset is everything that you do need to have in order to succeed.
Okay.
And I would banish rigidity. So the inability to be flexible in your approach. So just being too rigid and too fixed and not able to pivot.
Sounds brilliant.